Hi, I'm Rami from 467 Auto Salon. I'm here to tell you what the industry isn't telling you about ceramic coating. Stay tuned. In today's video, we'll be discussing the following topics in case you wanted to fast forward to these specific areas. First is ceramic coating worth it, and why is there such a price variance? Second, what really is a 9H and 10H, and is there any physical protection? Third, what really matters when choosing a ceramic coating? And lastly, how is ceramic coating warranted for life? Let me get into all the details about those topics for you. So, what is ceramic coating? Is it worth it? And why is there such a price variance? So what is ceramic coating? Let's keep this very high level. I'm going to keep this whole video as high level as I can, and within 5 minutes. What is ceramic coating? Ceramic coating essentially is a superficial top coat that sits on top of your clear coat. What is a wax or a sealant? It's a superficial top coat that sits on top of your clear coat. Well, they got the same characteristics, so why am I going to choose a ceramic coating over a wax sealant? Well, the reason being is because ceramic coating lasts a hell of a lot longer, but the caveat is how do you take care of your car? So a wax sealant, or a wax or a sealant, they essentially, last anywhere from 2 weeks to 6 months to a year, anywhere within that time period. And it all depends on how you prep the car before you put on this superficial top coat, okay? If you're not prepping the car nicely, if you aren't doing an alcohol bath, if you're not doing a clay bar, and you're putting just a wax on the car with nothing, done to the car, it's not going to last you very long at all. But if you are doing a clay bar or a decontamination wash or whatever you want to call it, and you're putting the wax in an alcohol bath and a wax or a sealant on the car afterwards, it's going to last you a lot longer. Are you letting the car dry overnight? Are you letting it cure? Is it in cold temperatures, warm temperatures? This all comes into factors. So what is a ceramic coating? Simple, a superficial top coat that sits on top of your clear coat. Is it worth it? Out here, where I am is Ontario, Canada. We get winter. We get really cold days. We get these trucks that drive on the road that spray a de-icing chemical on the road that gets on our cars. Is this all good for ceramic coating? No, it's not. So is it worth it? It all depends on how you take care of your car and how often you use your car. So whenever I have clients that give me a call asking for ceramic coating, I've got qualifying questions. The reason why I got qualifying questions is because I'm ethical. I don't want to be taking somebody's money who works very hard for their money just so I can make a buck and screw them because I'm not educating them properly. So I got qualifying questions for ceramic coating because I don't want anybody to come back to me saying, hey, I'm really unhappy. This isn't what I expected. So I make sure to educate them as good as possible. So first question I ask them here in Ontario, Canada again. Ontario, Canada, winter, cold, de-icing, year-round driven vehicles, it's not great. I ask them, hey, do you drive your vehicle year-round? Yes. And then I ask, are you very wealthy? The majority of the answer is they're getting by or they're okay. I then say, well, this may not be the product for you. The reason being is our winters, the abrasion from the snow sitting on the car, you wiping the snow off the car, it all starts to break down the ceramic coating's top coat, the beating effect of what everybody loves. If you're in Florida, Arizona, Texas, and you want ceramic coating down there, you have a whole year of summer, of hot weather, of good weather, of rain, of no snow. Well, sometimes snow in Texas. No machine, no trucks on the road de-icing the roads. It's a lot easier to keep your car clean and take care of it. Out here, it's not so easy. So is it worth it for out here in Ontario, Canada? In my opinion, it's not. Even if you're washing your car all the time, I still don't recommend it. Unless, again, you're really rich, you can drop your car off at your local professional detail shop, not just your detail shop, but your local professional detail shop where they can, do the maintenance for you on a weekly basis and keep it clean, keep the paint buttery smooth. And you know, you're at that point taking advantage of the ceramic coating, but that's going to cost you a lot of money. Here at my shop or other shops, you know, they do charge $100 for a car wash. Well, that's a lot of money. Well, there's a lot of work that gets put into the car wash. But yeah, you know, spending $100 a week or $100 every 2 weeks, plus your ceramic coating of $1,600, $2,000, $1,200, like it adds up. So again, if you're really wealthy, you want to keep your car looking nice and clean and beautiful with that crazy vibrance, a crazy shine. Yeah, but if you're the typical day-to-day consumer, it may not be worth it for you in the climate that we have here. Why is there such a price variance? Well, it's very simple. Yeah, my mic is on. It's very simple. The price variance is based on the amount of work they're doing to your car to apply the ceramic coating. So we're going to break this into 3 different phases, okay, or 3 different stages. Stage 1 is your decontamination wash. You have to wash the car, okay? You can't just put ceramic coating on the car without washing it. So you have to wash the car. It's not just any wash either. You got to do a decontamination wash with chemicals to break down the contamination on your paint so that it's removed, so you're just down to just the clear coat. Any place that say they clay bar your car, they're either full of it or they may do a very, very light, quick clay bar, but again, clay barring is old school. It's barely done anymore. I don't know of any shops that really do clay barring. They're actually worried about using a clay bar on the ceramic coating because they're worried about removing the ceramic coating with a clay bar. We'll get into that later in another video. But again, the first step is your decontamination wash. This easily can take anywhere from a half hour to an hour just to wash the car. After that step, then you've got to wait for the car to dry. You got some shops that use blowers to blow out, you know, the trim lines, to blow out the mirrors, to blow out the window, you know, blow it around the lenses of the headlight, tail lights to get all the water out of it. Again, that's going to take, you know, maybe 15 minutes max. So at this point, we're into the car wash for an hour and 15 minutes, hour and a half. At that point, you just can't start polishing it. Maybe the hood you can do, maybe the roof you can do, but it's really annoying if you're polishing correctly to be polishing a car and essentially have water start coming out of the trim and into your pad, into your compound. And at this point, well, you're out of luck. You're not doing the job properly. Unless if you're a volume shop, you don't care, and you're just trying to get the job done quickly to pump the car out the same day. So we're going to do an hour and a half to 2 hours for your car wash, okay? At that point, you know, you do want to have the car sit and dry. I prefer to have the car sit and dry for at least 3-4 hours. That way when I get back to the car and I use my polishing machine on it and it's vibrating your car, no water's coming out of anything, and I'm happy, your car's happy, and the job's getting done right. So step 2 is paint correction. People know it as buffing, polishing, or paint correction. I'm sure there's other terms out there, but it's all the same thing. Essentially what's happening is we are cleaning up your clear coat to make your clear coat look as best as possible. So removing any marring, scratching, hazing, contamination. We're making the clear coat look like glass again, okay? Paint these days, it's been actually since the 90s, it's called base clear, okay? So base is the color of the paint, so the color of the car, and clear is a clear coat over top of it to protect the paint color. Back in the day, it was single stage paint. They just have the color of the paint and they're just painting your car, and that's all. Now, obviously since the 90s, it's a base clear. So the objective is to get the clear coat like glass. So no scratches, no marring, no contamination on there. So the paint, when it shines through your clear coat, you have this vibrance, you have this depth, you've got this great gloss, okay? So paint correction easily on any car, as a one-person show, it's minimum 3 hours, minimum 3 hours. Sometimes you're gonna do it for 8 hours, 16 hours or more, depending on the amount of work you gotta do, how big the vehicle is. This is a pain to do. It's got all these aggressive curves. You don't wanna, you know, be getting into every single curve with the same machine because you will start damaging the paint because your polisher will be rotating around and all of a sudden smacking against the paint, which other shops I've seen happen, oh my God. But anyways, paint correction, you're into it for at least 3 hours. If you've got an army of guys doing paint correction, well, is it all getting done to the same standard? Is one guy rushing the job, the other guy is, you know, taking his time? One door looks great, the other door doesn't look the same. Or if it's a great shop, you know, everything looks, you know, awesome. So you're into it easily 3 hours. So now we're in 4.5, 4.5 hours, just for the work, minimum. And then on top of that, then you have the option of either doing a ceramic coating. So once your work is all done, the car looks pristine, looks awesome, looks fantastic, looks like glass. No, it's not ceramic coated yet, but it looks awesome. Well, that's because of the paint correction that was done. So the third step is wax or a wax sealant, which is again going to last you, after this step, it should last you 6 months if done properly, or a year, or ceramic coating. Again, depending on what product you buy, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 8 years, 10 years, lifetime. We'll get into that whole thing after as well. That's when the coating goes on. The coating typically takes, for a one-person show, anywhere from 40 minutes to an hour to apply and take off. Then I've got a minimum 1 hour or 2 hour cure time before my second coat, okay? Once that cure time is done, I can apply my second coat. With the second coat, again, 40 minutes to an hour to get put on. And then after that, there's a 4 hour. 4 hours is the rule of thumb. Some shops may kick it out, right away. Some shops may kick it out within 2 hours. But there's a 4 hour cure time before they can take the car from you, let it cure in the shop. Then there's a 5-day cure window after that of its continually to cure. So the variance in cost all depends on how much effort they're putting into all three of those stages. Do people just put one coat on? Yeah. Are some coatings one coat? Yep. Are some coatings 2 coatings? Yes. Are some coatings 3, 4, 5, 6? No. Anyone who's charging you extra for a 3rd coating or 4th coating or 5th coating, they're just asking for your money because they're just trying to rob you. There's no, after the 2nd coat, there's nothing. I can positively say that, unless if the manufacturer of the ceramic coating has different bottles for each of the coatings, each of the coating applications. But that gets into a different type of ceramic coating that essentially is self-healing, which again, we'll get into that maybe a little bit later. But typical clear ceramic coatings that sit on top of the clear coat, it's either a 1-step application or a 2-step application. That's why there's such a price variance. If you're spending anywhere less than $1,000 on ceramic coating, you're not getting a ceramic coating. You're just getting some fly-by shop slapping on a car wash, maybe doing a clay bar or a quick decontamination wash, maybe using a spray ceramic coating on the car to make it pop and look good, and all of a sudden you pick it up the same day. You're wasting your money. You're better off to just do a wash yourself at home, go to your local detail garage or Jack's Wax or Chemical Guys, pick up your own products and save yourself a lot of money. If you're either going to do it, you're either going to spend the proper money, which is over $1,000, properly is probably $1,600 to $2,000 Canadian dollars to get it done properly. Anything less, you're just wasting your money. You can get other services done within the same price range at different shops that are much more valuable. So I hope that answers your questions with what is ceramic coating, is it worth it, and why is there a price variance? If I've missed something or I want to get more depth of something, of one of the topics or one of the details I discussed, just leave a comment below. If I get enough comments about that same topic, I'll make up its own video. That way everyone is educated. Thanks. Okay, second topic. What really is 9H, 10H, and is there any physical protection with ceramic coating? To answer the latter, there's no physical protection, no matter what anybody tells you. Any of these videos that you're seeing with cars getting lit on fire, or they're trying to key the car and it looks perfect still. There's no physical protection with ceramic coating. I can take a car that's been ceramic coated, wash it the wrong way, and mar up the clear coat and be like, yeah, where's the ceramic coating on this? There's no physical protection. Anybody says there's no physical protection. If they're selling on the physical protection, there's nothing. Nothing. It's not a selling point. If you go back to the first point, well then, if there's no physical protection, then what is the 9H and 10H for hardness? That's based off the pencil scale. If you've got any art kids at home, ask them about their pencils, 1H, 2H, 3H, 9H, 10H. Ask to see them, use them, see how hard they are. That is what the coating is specifying, how hard it is in 9H or 10H, but there's a caveat to that. If you've got a Tesla, a Porsche, a Ferrari, and again, I'm not exactly accurate with the hardness scale of these cars, but we'll say like a 2H or a 3H in hardness. You put the ceramic coating on the car. Will it be a 9H or a 10H? No, it's not. It's not going to jump up 5 levels to a 9H or 10H. So the selling point for a 9H or 10H, again, it's not. There's no truth to it. The only truth behind that is when you get into self-healing coatings, which again, it's a self-healing ceramic coating. It's a different process. It actually bonds with the paint in a different way, which we can get into briefly and shortly here. So again, 9H, 10H, does it really matter? No, it doesn't. I can't put a 10H ceramic coating on a Tesla and wash the car and have the customer wash the car and be like not have to worry about scratching their car. No, it's still going to scratch. Even when the car does get marred or light abrasion on the paint, the only way to fix that is to do a polish. There are special compounds out there, like CarPro has a polish compound out there called Essence Plus. It's SiO2 based. It does heal a little bit of the ceramic coating. Is that area going to be the exact same as the other areas of the car? Well, it just depends. I'm not going to answer that question because there's too much at play at that point. But in review, 9H, 10H, based off the pencil scale that your art kids are using. Physical protection, no physical protection. Third topic of discussion: what really matters when choosing a ceramic coating? There's a lot of companies out there with ceramic coatings. There's ceramic coatings that I've never heard of out in Europe. There's ceramic coatings that Europe has never heard of. Unfortunately, it's just a big bandwagon everyone's just trying to jump into right now to essentially, get the most bang, get the most money that they can in the industry. It's a very big talking point, again, as you all know, which is why you're watching this video. It's a big talking point. Everybody wants it. Everybody wants to get it. But how do you know which ceramic coating to choose? Well, I can't answer that question. There's a lot of guys on YouTube who do testing between, chemicals or different ceramic coatings on hoods. They block off the hood and then they leave it outside and then they wash it after. In my opinion, it's not the best depiction of what a ceramic coating is, because you can't leave a hood outside, a month, 2 months, 3 months, and then go wash it and see what's actually, performing still. Well, you got all this decontamination on the damn paint. So it's not going to perform. So you may have a ceramic coating that's performing poorly because it hasn't been washed, while you have another one that's performing a little bit better, but meanwhile, once it gets washed, it's not going to perform as good as the one that wasn't performing well, but it got washed and now it's performing amazingly. I don't think it's a fair fair conclusion of what's good out there. You essentially, the way how to choose a ceramic coating is you got to find a good, professional, reputable shop. That's the end of it. You got to have a good detailer that you can trust to go back to with questions that support you, that educate you down the road. They're able to support you with your questions or washing techniques, or they've got videos online. They're there 100% for you. Some tells that I have whenever I go deal with whatever shop I deal with, because I have my own shop for whatever mechanical work, whatever it is I want to get done. Well, what is their price? Is their price average? Is their price low? Is it high? Second thing is, do they have a lot of cars in the shop? Are there a lot of employees in the shop? Do I want to have an army of people working on my car, or would I rather have some professional OCD, ADHD guy that shops meticulous, epoxy floor, and they're pretty much, a little weird to talk to because, they're just so caught up in their profession that they just can't let something go. They'd rather clean that, even though they're not getting paid for it, than let it leave the shop. That's how you choose your ceramic coating, because that guy who's got OCD, he's going to have the good stuff. But whatever he does have, still don't be oblivious to what he has. Do a little bit of research, see what's out there. But again, the internet isn't exactly, it's not all truths. Obviously, there's a lot of lies out there as well. So when choosing a ceramic coating, choose a shop that can stand behind their product, doesn't have an army of people, has OCD, ADHD tendencies, their shop is meticulously clean, and yeah, they've got a product you've heard of, or a product that's been reviewed online, and that's essentially how you kind of want to get behind that coating at that point. Here at my shop, I'm not doing any plugs, but I'm doing testing with the 3M ceramic coating. This is supposed to be pretty good. I don't know why this is not focusing, but it's 3M's. I am a C-Quartz professional user. I'm a CarPro certified detail shop. Again, not a plug, but this is some really good stuff. I've heard good stuff about 3M, which is why it's here. IGL, I originally started with IGL. I wouldn't use their lower line just because I wanted to keep my shop at a higher level. I didn't want to get into their quartz or their lower end lines. I just wanted to stick with their Kenzo. IGL Kenzo, this is my entry grade. Other shops, it's like their highest end grade. Because they're just not able to get anything else. Because the good stuff out there, you've got to actually apply for it. The good ceramic coatings, you actually have to apply for it. They do homework on your business. They check you out online. They test you, see what your actual skill set is, and at that point they approve you. And if they approve you, then they give you an area, a perimeter of kilometers that no one else can offer this product. As opposed to other ceramic coating companies, they'll have one next door to the other, all selling the same thing. And the reason being is because I'll get into that in another video.